Alex stood on the edge of the landing platform, looking out at the alien world below. The planet Virilia was strange but beautiful, with tall blue trees and skies that changed colors like a sunset that never ended. Alex was part of a team of humans sent to make friends with the Virilians, an advanced alien race that lived there. It was a big moment for Earth, the first real contact with an alien civilization. The Virilians were very different from humans. They had long, graceful bodies, glowing eyes, and skin that shimmered like the stars. Their language sounded like music, with soft whistles and clicks. Alex felt nervous but excited. This was what they had trained for, but nothing could prepare them for what happened next. The group was invited to the grand palace of the alien queen Zara. She was a tall, elegant figure sitting on a throne made of crystal. Her eyes shone with wisdom and power. When Alex was asked to step forward and say a few words, their heart pounded. Alex tried to speak in the Virilian language, repeating phrases learned from the translators. They wanted to show respect and friendship, but their pronunciation was wrong, and the words came out strange. Suddenly, Alex heard a sharp intake of breath from the crowd. They looked up to see Queen Zyra leaning forward, a small smile playing on her lips. Finally, she whispered softly, loud enough for Alex to hear. The room went silent. Alex froze, not understanding what just happened. The translators buzzed in their ear. "You have proposed marriage to the queen." Alex's face turned bright red. They had not meant to say that. It was a mistake. A big, embarrassing mistake. The idea of proposing to an alien queen was beyond anything Alex had imagined. But Zara did not look angry or surprised. Instead, her smile grew wider, and she nodded slowly. The tension in the room changed. Some aliens looked curious, others shocked, and a few seemed pleased. Alex's team tried to explain, but it was too late. The proposal was official. In Virilian culture, proposals were sacred and binding. Breaking such a promise could cause a war. Alex felt panic rise inside. How could they fix this? They were just a human explorer, not ready for such a heavy role. But Queen Zara's eyes met theirs again, calm and steady, as if she had waited a long time for this moment. "Do not be afraid," she said softly. "This is the start of something important." Alex didn't know what to say. Their mind was racing with questions, fears, and doubts. But one thing was clear. Their life was about to change forever. As the crowd whispered, and the stars above Virilia shone brightly, Alex realized this accidental proposal was no simple mistake. It was the beginning of an adventure that would test everything they knew about courage, friendship, and what it meant to be human in a vast universe. After the surprising proposal, the grand hall of the palace was filled with a tense silence. Everyone waited to see what Queen Zara would do next. Alex stood still, feeling every eye on them. Their heart was pounding so hard, it felt like it would jump out of their chest. Queen Zara looked at Alex with calm, deep eyes. Then she leaned in close and whispered, "Finally." The word was soft but strong, like it carried years of hope and waiting. The room grew even quieter. Nobody moved. Alex could barely breathe. They wanted to ask, "What do you mean? Why finally?" But their mouth felt dry, and the words got stuck inside. The Virilians around them started talking in soft voices. The translators quickly told Alex that finally was a very important word in their culture. It meant Zara had been waiting a long time for this moment, waiting for someone like Alex. Alex felt confused. How could an alien queen wait for a human explorer? They had just come to Virilia to make friends, not to become part of some ancient story. One of the alien nobles, a tall figure with silver hair and bright eyes, stepped forward. She spoke in a voice that was calm but serious. "Queen Zara's whisper means that the prophecy is true. The one who will unite our people with the humans is here." Alex blinked in surprise. A prophecy. They had no idea there was a prophecy about them or humans at all. The noble explained that long ago, The Virillians had a story about a partner from another world. This partner would bring peace and help the Virillian people grow stronger by working with other species. The proposal was not just a mistake, it was part of that prophecy. Alex's mind was racing. Could it really be true? Was their accidental proposal the start of something huge? The Queen's smile became warmer. I have waited many cycles for this. To find someone who could be more than a visitor, someone who can stand with us as a partner, a friend, and maybe more. Alex felt a mix of fear and excitement. They never dreamed of becoming a hero or a symbol of hope for an alien race. Yet, here they were, right in the middle of it. As the court started to accept the idea, Alex was led away to a quiet room. They needed time to think. The weight of the moment pressed down on them. What did this mean for the mission? For Earth? For their own life? Alex sat by the window and looked out at the strange alien sky. The colors swirled like a living painting. Somehow, it felt like the whole universe was watching, waiting for what would come next. They took a deep breath and whispered to themselves, "What have I done?" But inside, Alex also felt a spark, a small flame of courage. Maybe, just maybe, this accident was a chance to do something no human had done before. With that thought, Alex stood up. It was time to face the unknown. The adventure was just beginning. After the shocking moment in the palace, Alex knew they had to learn everything about the Virillians, their language, customs, and the meaning behind the accidental proposal. It was not just a simple mistake anymore. It was a serious event with deep cultural roots. Queen Zira arranged for Alex to meet with Lyra, the royal advisor and expert on Virillian traditions. Lyra was a graceful alien with silver eyes that seemed to see right through people. She greeted Alex kindly, but with a strong presence. "Alex," Lyra said, "you must understand our culture to survive what comes next. The proposal you made is not just words. It is a sacred ritual that binds two souls together, and in our history, it has brought peace and unity." Alex listened carefully, feeling both respect and pressure. The Virillians believed that the one who proposed marriage to the Queen was chosen by destiny, someone who would unite their people with another world. "Why me?" Alex asked quietly. Lyra smiled softly. "That is the mystery. The prophecy says it will be someone unexpected, someone from a distant star, who carries the spirit of many worlds in their heart." Over the next few days, Alex began lessons in Virillian language and customs. They learned to speak the musical clicks and whistles that formed the language, and to move with the slow, graceful gestures that showed respect. At first, it was hard. Alex stumbled over words and felt awkward in the formal palace clothes. But Zira was patient and often joined the lessons herself. The Queen's calm presence helped Alex feel less alone. During one lesson, Zira explained why she whispered finally after the proposal. "For many cycles, I have waited for this moment," she said. "Many have come and gone, but none were right. You are the first who showed both kindness and courage." Alex felt a strange warmth hearing those words. It was as if Zira saw something in them that even they did not know. Outside the lessons, Alex also met members of the Virillian court. Some were friendly and curious, while others were cautious or even suspicious. The palace was filled with whispers and questions. One day, a young Virillian named Keth approached Alex. "You are brave," he said. "Not many humans would stay here after such a mistake." Alex smiled. "I don't have a choice now. I have to learn and prove I belong." Keth nodded. "Good. We will watch you." As days passed, Alex started to feel a connection to this strange world. The Virillians were different, but they were also fascinating. Their culture was rich, full of history and meaning. At night, Alex often stared at the stars from the palace balcony. The vast universe felt smaller and bigger at the same time. Somewhere out there was Earth, but here was a new home. Maybe. Alex realized that this accident, this strange proposal, was not just a problem. It was a bridge a bridge between two very different worlds. And Alex was standing right in the middle. The palace buzzed with quiet tension as news of Alex's accidental proposal spread through the royal court. Not everyone was happy. Some nobles whispered behind closed doors, their faces full of doubt and suspicion. The idea of a human, an outsider, becoming linked to their queen was hard to accept. Queen Zira remained calm but knew the challenge ahead was more than just learning customs. There were powerful forces inside her court who saw Alex as a threat to their power and to Virilia's future. One afternoon during a formal gathering, a high-ranking noble named Viller spoke out. He was tall and stern, with sharp eyes that never missed a detail. "Your Majesty," Viller began, addressing Zira, "this union with a human is dangerous. We do not know their true intentions. It could weaken our people or bring enemies to our doorstep." Alex felt the weight of every word. The room filled with murmurs of agreement from some nobles, but others looked uneasy, unsure what to think. Zira's voice was steady and strong. "Veller, I appreciate your concern, but this is not just about one human. It is about the future of Virilia and its place among the stars. We cannot live in fear of what is different." Veller narrowed his eyes, but did not respond. The tension remained, but the queen's words held power. Later, in a quiet hallway, Alex met with Lyra, the royal advisor. "There are many who will try to stop this," Lyra warned. "Some fear change. Others want to keep control for themselves." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. "What can I do?" Lyra smiled slightly. "Show them who you are. Be strong. Learn their ways, but also share your own." The days that followed were filled with cautious meetings and secret talks. Alex noticed that some nobles approached with polite questions, while others avoided them altogether. One evening, Alex overheard a conversation between two nobles in the palace garden. They spoke of a plan to challenge the proposal, to prove that Alex was not worthy of Zira's trust. Alex's heart sank, but also sparked with determination. If this union was going to survive, they would have to face these challenges head-on. Queen Zira called Alex to her private chambers. "This will not be easy," she said, "but you are not alone. I believe in you." Alex looked into Zira's eyes and saw not just a queen, but a partner who needed them as much as they needed her. "I won't let you down," Alex promised. Zira smiled. "Good. Then let us prepare. There is more to come, and we must be ready." As Alex left the chamber, the weight of the royal intrigue pressed on them, but so did a new feeling: hope. The path was difficult, but it was also filled with the chance to change history, and Alex was ready to walk it. After the tense meetings and quiet challenges in the court, Alex knew they had to become more than just a visitor on Virilia. To survive, and to prove they belonged, they needed to learn everything about the Virilians. Not just their language, but their customs, their ways of thinking, and their strengths. Queen Zira arranged for Alex to train with the best teachers in the palace. The days were long and full of hard work. From early morning to late evening, Alex practiced the delicate Virilian language, learning to whistle and click with the right rhythm. The sounds were tricky, but Alex was determined. Zira often joined the lessons. Sometimes she corrected Alex gently. Other times she simply watched with a quiet smile. Her calm presence gave Alex strength. But language was only the beginning. Alex also learned how to move like a Virilian. The aliens walked with grace and confidence, their movements slow but powerful. It was a kind of dance, and Alex had to practice every step perfectly. At first, Alex stumbled and felt clumsy. The other students watched, some with friendly encouragement, others with doubt. But Alex kept going, refusing to give up. During one training session, Zira spoke quietly. "Alex, the way we move is more than just balance. It shows respect and strength. It is a way to connect with each other without words." Alex nodded, trying again. Slowly, their steps became smoother. They felt a new kind of confidence growing inside. Along with the physical lessons, Alex learned about Virillian history and values. They read ancient stories about heroes who protected the planet and legends about the stars. It was a rich culture, full of meaning and pride. One day, Alex asked Zira why the proposal was so important. In our culture, she said, the proposal is a promise. It is a bond between two souls. It is not easy to accept, but it is powerful. Alex thought about Earth's way of making promises, sometimes careless, sometimes deep. The Virillians took theirs seriously, and now Alex was part of it. Outside training, Alex and Zira grew closer. Their conversations moved beyond lessons. They talked about their hopes, fears, and the future. Alex learned that Zira had waited a long time for someone to understand her people and to stand by her side. Zira saw something special in Alex, a mix of courage, kindness, and humor. For Alex, the queen was no longer just a ruler. She was a friend and a guide in this strange new world. But not everyone in the palace was happy. Some nobles still watched with suspicion, waiting for a chance to challenge Alex. Alex knew the road ahead would be hard, but with every lesson, every step, and every smile from Zira, they felt ready. The training was not just about learning Virillian ways, it was about becoming someone worthy of the queen's trust. And Alex was determined to prove that even a human from a small blue planet could stand strong among the stars. The peaceful days of training and learning did not last long. One morning, a strong message came from a rival alien faction, the Zarkans. They had watched the events on Virilia with growing anger. To them, the proposal between Alex and Queen Zira was a sign of weakness and danger. The Zarkans sent a challenge. If Alex wanted to be accepted as the queen's partner, they must prove their worth by passing a traditional Virillian trial. This trial tested mind, body, and loyalty. It was a dangerous test, one that no outsider had ever faced. Alex stood before Queen Zira, hearing the news. The queen's face was serious but proud. "This is your chance to show who you really are, Alex, not just to my people, but to yourself." Alex felt a mix of fear and determination. The trial would be hard, but running away was not an option. The trial began the next day in the sacred arena, a large circle surrounded by glowing crystals that hummed with energy. Virillian elders and nobles gathered to watch. The atmosphere was tense. The first test was of the mind. Alex had to solve an ancient puzzle that involved symbols and light. It looked impossible at first. The pieces seemed to change and move, but Alex remembered the stories and lessons learned. Taking a deep breath, they focused, slowly fitting the pieces together until the puzzle glowed with a bright light. A murmur of approval passed through the crowd. Next was the test of the body. Alex faced a physical challenge, climbing the crystal spire, a steep, glowing tower that required strength and balance. The climb was difficult and painful, but Alex pushed forward, remembering Zira's words about courage and respect. When Alex reached the top, the crowd cheered softly, impressed by the human's determination. The last test was the hardest: loyalty. Alex was led into a quiet chamber where voices from the past played around them. The voices questioned their intentions, their heart, and their promises. Alex had to stand firm against doubt and fear, proving that their commitment to Zira and the Virillians was real. It was a test of spirit, and it shook Alex to their core. But they remembered Zira's trust and the hope of two worlds coming together. With steady breath, Alex spoke words of promise and unity, showing strength beyond fear. When Alex emerged from the chamber, Queen Zira was waiting, her eyes shining with pride. "You have passed, Alex," she said softly. "You are more than I hoped." The crowd erupted in applause. The nobles who had doubted looked thoughtful. The rival faction would have to reconsider. Alex felt a wave of relief and joy, but knew this was only the beginning. The trial had proven something important, that humans were stronger and braver than many had believed. As Alex looked at Zira, they knew their bond was no longer an accident. It was a promise and a new beginning. The victory in the trial did more than just prove Alex's strength. It changed the way many saw humans. The atmosphere in the palace began to shift. Some nobles, who had once been suspicious or hostile, started to approach Alex with curiosity and respect. But the true test was still ahead. The rival faction, the Zarkans, were not willing to accept defeat so easily. They continued to challenge the new alliance between humans and Varillians. Their leaders met in secret, planning how to stop this union before it could grow stronger. Alex realized that to survive, they needed allies, not just among the Virillian nobles, but also among humans, and even some unexpected Virillian friends. One afternoon, Alex met with Keth, the young Virillian who had spoken words of encouragement earlier. Keth had quietly been gathering support from other young nobles who believed change was necessary. "We want peace and cooperation," Keth said. "Many of us believe that working with humans can bring a better future." Alex smiled, feeling hope. "Then let's show the court what we can do together." Together, they began to form a small group of allies. Humans and Virillians worked side by side, sharing ideas, stories, and technology. The humans showed Virillians new ways of thinking and problem-solving, while the Virillians taught humans about their advanced science and history. During a public meeting, Alex spoke with confidence. "We come from different worlds, but we share the same hopes, peace, friendship, and a chance to grow stronger together." The crowd listened carefully. Many nodded, feeling the truth in Alex's words. Even some of the older nobles began to change their minds. They saw how the humans' courage and kindness could help Virillia in difficult times. Meanwhile, Queen Zira watched proudly. She knew this was more than just politics. It was the start of a new era, a future where humans and Virillians stood as partners. However, not everyone was pleased. The Zarkans increased their efforts, sending spies and spreading rumors to break the trust between the two peoples. One night, Alex caught one of the spies trying to steal important information from the palace. Instead of anger, Alex offered the spy a choice: to join the alliance or face consequences. The spy hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Maybe it is time for change," they said quietly. This small victory encouraged Alex and their allies. They understood that building trust was difficult but possible. As days passed, the bond between humans and Virillians grew stronger. Alex felt proud to be a part of something bigger than themselves, a bridge between two worlds. Looking at Queen Zira one evening, Alex knew that together, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Because in unity, there was strength. The day of the final part of the trial had come. Alex knew this test was not like the others. It was not about puzzles or climbing towers. It was about the heart, about true loyalty and trust. Queen Zira led Alex to a quiet, glowing chamber deep inside the palace. The air hummed softly, filled with an energy that made Alex's skin tingle. "This chamber reveals your true spirit," Zira explained. "You will face your fears, your doubts, and your hopes." Alex took a deep breath and stepped inside. At first, the chamber was dark and silent. Then, soft voices began to echo around Alex, voices from the past and present, memories and dreams. They heard doubts, like whispers in the wind. "Are you worthy? Can you keep your promise? Do you truly belong here?" Alex's heart pounded. These were their fears, their own insecurities made real. Images appeared, Earth's history of wars, mistakes, and struggles. The voices of those who had failed, who had given up. Alex felt the weight of it all. But then, stronger voices rose up, voices of friends, family, and even Zira. They spoke of hope, courage, and the strength to try again. "You are not alone," Zira's voice said softly from outside the chamber. "You carry more than yourself. You carry the future of two worlds." Alex closed their eyes and remembered every lesson, every moment of kindness and bravery. They thought of the allies they had made and the trust they had earned. With steady breath, Alex spoke aloud. I promise to stand strong, to be true, to build a future where humans and Varillians can live together in peace." The voices grew quiet, and the chamber filled with a warm light. Alex felt a calm spread through their body, as if they had finally found their place. When the chamber door opened, Queen Zira was waiting, her eyes shining with pride and relief. "You have passed the trials, Heart," she said softly. "You have shown true loyalty and courage." The people of the court cheered. Alex had not only proven their worth, but had inspired hope in many hearts. From that moment, the bond between Alex and Zira was no longer just a prophecy or an accident. It was a promise, a living, breathing connection between two worlds. Alex knew there would still be challenges ahead, but with Zira by their side, nothing seemed impossible. Together, they would face the future, hand in hand. After the trial in the glowing chamber, news spread quickly through the palace and beyond. Alex had passed the hardest test, a test of heart, mind, and spirit. This was more than anyone had expected from a human. The nobles who had once doubted Alex began to change their minds. They saw not only bravery but also a deep respect for Varillian culture and people. Slowly, one by one, the most powerful voices in the court began to accept Alex as a true partner to Queen Zira. At a great gathering held in the palace's grand hall, Queen Zira stood before her people. Her voice was strong and clear. "Today, we celebrate not only the passing of a trial, but the beginning of a new era. Alex has proven that unity between our worlds is possible. Together, we can build a future filled with hope, strength, and peace." Applause filled the room. Alex stood beside Zira, feeling proud and grateful. This moment was not just about them. It was about the chance for two species to grow together. Outside the palace, the people of Varillia watched with hope. Many had been unsure or scared of change, but now they saw that humans could be friends and allies. Alex looked out at the crowd and thought about Earth, so far away. They wished their family and friends could see this moment, the moment when humanity took a place among the stars. The Zarkans, the rival faction, remained silent. Their challenge had failed, and many of their members began to question their own stubbornness. Some sent messages asking to join the new alliance. Alex met with these new visitors. They spoke carefully but honestly, offering peace and a chance to start fresh. Queen Zira nodded in agreement. Strength comes from unity, not division. As the alliance grew, plans began for a new joint colony, a place where humans and Varillians could live, learn, and work together. This colony would be a symbol of hope for the galaxy. Alex and Zira spent long hours discussing the future. They knew there would be difficulties, but they also knew that together, they were stronger. Alex felt a deep connection to Zira and her people. What started as an accidental proposal had become a powerful partnership. It was a promise kept, a bridge built, and a new story just beginning. As the sun set over the sparkling city of Varillia, Alex stood beside Zira on the palace balcony. The stars shone brightly above, a reminder of how vast the universe was and how much hope it held. "Thank you for believing in me," Alex said quietly. Zira smiled, her eyes warm. "Thank you for standing with us." Together, they looked toward the future, ready for whatever adventures awaited. The days after the great celebration were busy and full of hope. Alex and Queen Zira worked side by side to build the first joint colony between humans and Varillians. The colony was called New Harmony, a place where two very different worlds would meet and grow together. Alex walked through the new city, amazed by the mix of human and Varillian designs. There were buildings that shimmered like crystals and parks filled with blue trees and green grass. Humans and Varillians worked together, sharing knowledge and dreams. Many humans had traveled from Earth to be part of this new chapter. They brought tools, ideas, and stories from home. The Varillians welcomed them with open arms, eager to learn and teach. At the center of the colony stood a tall statue of Alex and Zira, standing hand in hand, a symbol of unity and hope. It reminded everyone that even an accidental proposal could change the fate of entire worlds. Alex often thought about the journey from that first awkward moment in the palace to this day. It had been hard, scary, and full of surprises, but it was also the best adventure of their life. Queen Zira was no longer just a distant ruler. She was a partner, a friend, and someone who believed in a future where all beings could live in peace. One evening, as the two stood on a balcony overlooking New Harmony, Zira turned to Alex and said, "This is only the beginning. There are many stars yet to explore, many worlds yet to meet." Alex smiled, "And we will face them together." They watched the twin moons rise over the horizon, casting silver light over the new city. It was a quiet moment, but full of promise. Back on Earth, news of the alliance inspired many. People looked up at the night sky with new hope. Maybe humans were not alone. Maybe the universe was bigger and kinder than they had ever imagined. Alex knew there would still be challenges ahead, but with Zira and the new alliance, they were ready. Together, they had turned a mistake into a miracle. Together, they had begun a story that would be told for generations. Together, they had shown what it truly meant to be human, and what it meant to belong among the stars.